All right, back Facebook Live once again. Haven't got that much time today, so I'm going to get straight into it. As ever, I'm doing these every 2 weeks now. It seems pretty regular. If you want more action than that, get on my newsletter over my website, link below. All right, first question. How do I lose fat and gain muscle? It's the magical elixir of health and fitness. How do I get them both? Well, again, I don't quite know who you are, but let's put it down. Some things have to be amongst this. You need two different plans. There's no plan that's going to get both. So if you've got one plan, then how are you expecting to gain muscle and lose fat? Yep, there are circumstances where you can do it. For example, if you're very new to exercise, but the reality is you need two different plans if you're going to be gaining muscle, losing fat. So what does that mean? Something's got to be different. It can't be the same. It could be 3 meals a day versus 5 meals a day. It could be 5 weight sessions a week versus 5 cardio sessions a week. Something's going to have to be different for this to happen. So that's the first thing. Then you've got to become adaptable. How the hell do I become adaptable? So it's another issue. The idea being that, yeah, you've got a plan of action, but how are you going to stick to it? This is what we're talking about. The magic results come not from which food or which exercise will give you this, spectacular result. It's how am I going to be consistently doing it there and then. So this one, when people say, Ben, I want to gain muscle and lose fat, what do I need to do? Well, this is what I'm telling you. We need two plans of action. We need to find a way on both those plans of actions to adapt with what life throws at you. How are you going to handle this when you cannot be bothered? So we've got to work that into play. Now, to that is training everything behind this whole concept, because what time scale are we talking about? If you're losing body fat, you can make nice gains 3 months, 6 months. Depending on you, how much muscle you're trying to gain, we could be talking 3 to 6 years. So there are very different approaches to take for that. And obviously, when it comes to trying to get both of these, now the guy who asked me this question, I don't really know him, so I don't know how much he's trying to get, what he's trying to get to. But anybody who's got any serious amount of muscle they're trying to gain, you can't do it together. If you're a brand new person who exercise, yes, you can get those magical gains of muscle and losing fat. But if you're anything past that beginner stage, you need two plans. You can't have one. Plan for losing body fat, plan for gaining muscle. But remember, that means nothing unless you're adaptable. How are you going to stick to it? And this is what you've got to learn. So you've got to have things in place for when you can't be bothered, low motivational periods. And if you haven't got that, you're going to struggle because you rely on your motivation. Then we've got the big thing, the actual thing that really matters, is everything behind it. How do we make you the kind of person who can get those results? So there's lots of different things we need to look at. Motivation. How motivated are you? How do we get that motivation up? There's techniques we can use. Stress. How do you handle stress? Well, we can bring stress down using certain techniques. We can find ways to handle stress better, both of which put us on a better track. Then other elements to it. Do I have the knowledge of nutrition? Do I have knowledge of exercise? Again, we can teach that, but not just like the knowledge up here, because a lot of people can quote stuff, but a behavioral knowledge is in your heart. Do you enjoy exercise rather than knowing how to do it? A very big difference. Then to that, there's other aspects. How do we raise every single standard in this whole area of health and fitness? There are methods we can use to do that as well. So this sort of comes in it. So when people ask me, what's this magic formula to losing body fat, gaining weight? It's not pretty and it's a bit boring when somebody asks it, but it's trying to do that. Two plans, an ability to stick to the plan, and then a system that raises you up so you're a different person to stick to it. Imagine if you've got to do 3 years of weight training to get there. So obviously there's some basics to losing body fat, basics to moving, to gaining muscle. Losing body fat, you're not going to do it if you're eating more than you need, guaranteed. Now, whether you move more, eat less, whether you don't focus on how much you're eating, but you find another way to reduce the food amount, it's going to get you there. But how do I run that together consistently, week to week, month to month? Other side of that, exercise, gaining muscle. How are you going to gain muscle if you're not doing resistance training in some form? You just can't. So you have to add that in, be it traditionally in a gym, be it hanging around on a pole. There are different ways to do it, but ultimately it comes down to, are you working hard? And then are you getting food to back it up? So they're the basic fundamentals, and they're not spectacular. What's spectacular is doing it week in, week out for 2 months, 4 months, 8 months, and so forth. So that's answering that question. Again, people are annoyed when they ask me a question because they want some magic, boring answer. Just stop eating bread, you'll lose weight, and do this exercise. Come on. We're living in the real world. If it was that easy, we'd all have it, and you wouldn't keep asking those sort of questions. Next question. So a couple of people said this. They've changed gyms, one person. Other couple of people, it's busy gyms. And they're like, how the hell do I do a workout in a busy gym? Well, it depends what you do. Again, most people get a bit too anal about their training programs, and they don't really need to be, in that you're probably not a professional athlete where training programs are really important. In that case, if you're an average goer, it doesn't really matter what you do. Are you getting out of breath in some form? You're going to get fitter. Are you lifting weights in some form? It doesn't have to be that magic exercise that you so like or that trainer showed you. You could literally in busy times just jump on other things to make it happen. Now, if you don't know how to use those machines, as one person in the new gym went to, you need to ask somebody. You know, it's like, it's not hard, but you've got to ask. You're not going to magically learn it. If you feel uncomfortable with people watching, then it's trying to go for these simple sort of things. But for many people who aren't comfortable in the gym or don't know what the hell they're doing on their own outside or at home, just get some instruction. You've got the best, now for free information. There's never a better time than in the history of humanity, sadly. It also brings a lot of crap with it, but it's just a simple instruction. So if you're busy in a gym, I'd get a plan that can be done quickly and easily. And now, if you are the kind of person who's a more serious athlete and you have to do certain things, then you need to use other methods. So and again, I think it comes back to that thing. People are too anal about this magic formula. They got a plan. It has to be squats, then bench, then dead. It doesn't. You just like it that way. If the squat rack comes available right at the end, jump on it then. If it comes at the beginning, jump on it then. People get a bit too restrictive, and that can cost you a lot of time. So this guy waited for 15 minutes the other day in the gym to do 3 sets. A newbie, obviously, but what a waste of his life. He could have done, being a new guy, he could have done any exercise to pretty much make some gains, not wait for this magic machine. But there he is to it. So that's the best thing as far as that goes, busy gyms. Sorting neck. So neck and massage also come close in together. So a lot of people get neck pain, massage pain. It's the same conversation. So people who follow my Snapchat and that saw me getting massages this week. I love massages. So there's a very good power to them. Now, most injuries and niggles you can sort out with clever massage, which comes under the banner of how do I sort my neck pain out. Now, where people go wrong is they don't have a massage or they're massaging the wrong thing. So what you've got to understand is the basic philosophy of why do you need a massage? Is the muscles go into spasm, and then you get these like trigger points, these lumps in the muscle, maybe from a tear, and they hurt when you touch it. And then you're like, oh, my shoulders are stiff. And then when I touch it, you're like, oh, that feels great. That's only half the equation. The other half is understanding which one of those spasms triggers needs to be released, and which one of those spasm triggers are actually protecting you from further pain. Because you've got to ask why it's caused and what's going on. Now, sometimes like you can wrench your back and the back panics and it spasms up to stop you moving further. That's a classic, done my back picking up a toothbrush pain. That's probably a spasm you want to relieve. But other spasms come from continued stress, and it's the body trying to hold another body part moving out of alignment. And this is where the neck thing comes in. So almost every office worker moaning about my neck, oh God, my neck. And then they're like, give me a massage here. But what you got to look at is what the hell's going on. And most office workers, probably 8, 9 out of 10 people we're talking here, what really happening is this bit of the neck, the front of the neck, has become tight. And then as a result, this bit here is trying to become in spasm to protect this inevitable pull down from my neck. So what you don't really need to do is massage this and release it, because that is actually trying to protect you from further imbalances. What you need to be doing is coming in and massaging, relaxing the front of the neck. Now you need to be careful on that because there's veins there, there's arteries there, but this is an area what you want to do, and this happens across the whole body. So like, just because there's a pain in the muscle doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. And I think a lot of massage therapists go a bit crazy on this pain in the muscle, let's do it, it must be better. And I had lots of clients, and I've seen it myself as well, when you do a massage and my injury gets worse. Now, it doesn't mean the massage therapist is bad. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. What it means is they've released a protective spasm. And what that means is the other side of the body was probably the causative one that they actually need to release. Or you need to do some other stretch work. Or you need to do some strengthening work. And this is the point. And with clever specified massage and seeing the reaction to the body, you can get absolutely breathtaking changes in pain management, injury management, strength as well. So that's what I say about massage. Hugely good, really important. There's different ways to do it. Obviously, the best way, get a trained massage therapist, see them regularly once a week for X amount of time. Second best option, get a friend, train a friend, learn off somebody, do a course so you can do it to yourself or get somebody to do it to you. You can quite easily massage yourself on certain areas. Obviously, you can't massage your back, but you can massage arms, chest, thighs, depending on what the area is. That's another method. And then you've got foam roller for balls, lacrosse ball techniques. Again, if you've seen my videos, never roll up and down on a foam roller. It's a totally misleading name. It's a trigger point device. I'm not going to go into it here too much. You can see it on my website. But the whole point being is that's another massage method, massage technique. So powerful to do. Now, the reason I got to massage my coach, so trying to compete for fitness model type shows, he said you need to do massage because your muscles aren't. The blood isn't getting in the muscles. So I had huge differences from getting massage in certain areas. And any area that wouldn't grow was really, really painful on the massage. And as it released the massage, you could see blood getting in there in the session, and you could see a lot more growth was possible. So it's an interesting area to do it. There's some good people on YouTube who show how the pros do massage techniques. So it's an interesting area. Next question. Creatine. So I had a question about creatine. What is it? Should I take it? Well, should you take it? I haven't a clue who you are. So the point is, what is it? Well, it's one of the most researched sports supplements you're going to get, and it unequivocally helps you if you're in a strength power sport. Now, that's not open to debate. Now, for most people, this is a bit more open to debate, is whether it helps you gain muscle mass, or muscle mass being water mass. Again, from the harder training, it's been shown to help you gain muscle mass, not as concretely shown. So is it good? Well, it depends. If you're trying to build muscle, if you do any strength power training, very good. I would suggest you taking it and experimenting with it. Now, the nature of the beast is some people are quite depleted in creatine, other people are not. And I think this explains why some people get very good results off it, some people get average to no results off it. So it's something to try for yourself. But again, you've got to ask yourself who you are. You know, if you're not doing any exercise, do you really need to take creatine? I would pretty much say no. If you are training in the gym 4 to 6 times a week, I would say almost guaranteed yes. And this is something for you to play with and go through. So again, it comes down to who you are, that question. But like I say, it's one of the most well-researched supplements you're going to get. So there's not much debate on it. Not really any toxic problems to it neither. So it's something to experiment with. Had a good debate on, not debate, but a talk about breathing and breathing rates. So I don't know how much you're into breathing, but I've been studying and using Buteyko breathing for 5 years, 6 years. I can't remember how long it is. So Buteyko breathing was designed by a Russian doctor working with the astronauts about trying to get them looking at their breathing rates and breathing patterns. And long story short, what he finds is most people are breathing too frequently with too big a breath. And the result is you get an imbalance of CO2 in the blood, and then that results into you actually not getting blood and oxygen into the blood and into the muscles, and instead of you getting out of breath in exercise. So the idea being that if you panting after a run, you think that's what exercise feels like, that's actually just a sign of inefficient oxygen metabolism. And his program is all about teaching you to become more efficient in using oxygen and increasing carbon dioxide levels within the body. Now, I had huge gains on it. It became quite famous because it was a treatment to asthma. Now, that was another email I sent out this week, how I got rid of my own asthma. That was through changing food. So I had asthma from 5 years old until about 25. It varied in intensity, but, I went to hospital having an asthma attack, quite scary when it happens. When I changed my food, I was using metabolic typing, it got rid of my asthma, it never came back, threw it away. But I still had many of the symptoms, the really getting out of breath when you were running and so forth. And when I found Buteyko breathing, did the method within second training session or 3 training sessions back on the track, and I smashed my PB, and I was like, you are having a laugh. So that's when I really got into studying it. So the nature of Buteyko breathing is very different, yet similar to yoga, depending what you're trying to look at. Now, yoga, classic yoga breathing is take a huge breath. Isn't that relaxing? Buteyko breathing is like, no. Take as small a breath as you can, slow down your breathing as much as you can so it feels uncomfortable, and sit there for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, ideally 20 minutes a day. And what that does is it retrains your carbon dioxide levels in your body, and that stops you getting out of breath when you are running. And if you see the top athletes on telly doing this, you'll see their aerobic system is absolutely perfect. Because if you see Radishta in the 2012 Olympics, he broke the 800 meter world record and he was like that. Sweet. And I'm like, why is that guy not out of breath, collapsed on the floor like when I've just done 400 meters? And it's going to come down to efficient breathing methodology, carbon dioxide levels in the blood. So this is the point of Buteyko breathing. So how this came into conversation was how many breaths per minute should you be doing? And the ideal general theory about it is you should be doing about 6 breaths per minute max at rest. So you can test that. That's 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Or if you're not quite even to one breather, then it's going to be maybe 8 out, 2, or 8 in, 2 out. This is an interesting area to look at how many times you're breathing. Then when you're running, again, what sort of breath rate should I be? Now, I see normal running sites saying 1 breath per second. That's mental if that's true. Maybe I misquoted that and it's 30 seconds, so it's 1 in, 1 out. There's no way you should be breathing that quickly. And I can hear people when I'm in the park come past and they're breathing like a train coming down. And I want to stop them and say, you need to work on your breathing patterns because it's stopping you get to a level. So it's something for you to consider. Because I know when I was on athletics training and I was sprinting down the 400 meters and I'm breathing literally once every second. And I thought, hold up, let me shut it down. And I literally could take 1 per second. I could slow it down so it's 1 every 6 seconds of breath. And it helped my time, not hindered it. So this is Buteyko breathing. Now, interestingly, to yoga, official yoga classes you get here are not official yoga, but they're a version of yoga that's commercial. Now, official yoga used to train this Indian family over in West London, and then the grandmother used to do all her breathing exercises every day, and it was a lot of stuff very similar to Buteyko breathing, so that they would just breathe through one nostril for a minute, another nostril for a minute. That's very similar. Not the same as this big, take a big breath in that we get in all traditional yoga classes. In the same way, I used to train a yoga teacher, and he went around his house and he's got a poster with all the yoga poses, like 800 of them. Amazing, amazing poster. And what I saw was for every stretch that, say, got your hamstrings, there was a stretch that did the opposite side, did your thighs, or whichever one did your lower back, there was one that stretched your stomach. Yet the yoga classes we do here just picked out the sort of bendy ones, the hamstring ones, the lower back ones, and very few of the other way around. Now that makes sense because the chances of you hurting yourself on a bendy hamstring one are much less than hurting yourself on a prone cobra and other ones bending in that direction. So I could see why they would pick it. And it's the same with the breathing. You know, some of the stuff that our grandmother was doing or Buteyko does, it's not, well, it's quite hard work, you know, but the idea goal of yoga breathing is to be able to breathe once a minute, which is very similar to what Buteyko breathing should allow you to be able to do, and so forth. That's a bit of a tangent. I'm not sure how interested you are in breathing, but man, breathing is important to everything that we do and very underrated. So it's something maybe to explore. There is a test on my website somewhere. Maybe, I don't think it's in the depth of the website, but I'll put it up, or I'll put it in my newsletter this week. A breathing test you can do to see how well you are breathing. And if you play with it, it can really be a huge area. I use it with my clients because I know if you improve your breathing patterns, it can reduce food cravings in a lot of people. It also increases or decreases your ability to handle stress, depending which way you're looking at it. So breathing, an important area there. Where we got to? I've had a couple people this week, as ever. So, Ben, I'm fat, I need to lose weight, and then show me their stomach. Now, interestingly, well, the last 2 weeks, 3 of the people that I've seen, they weren't overweight. Again, it's the old classic. So basically, pull your top up, throw your stomach out, and then I'll try and grab your fat. This is how the very unscientific, probably unpolitically correct test goes, and I'll try and grab your fat. And that'll tell me how much fat you've got. So on these 2 people, I could only grab about this much body fat. Yeah, their stomach was out from here to here, but I could only grab that much. So what does that mean? That means this bit is not body fat because it's inside. Is it on the outside of the stomach, of the wall of muscle, or is it on the inside? It was on the inside. So that means their stomach intestines are annoyed. It's now either bloated, you've got gas down there, you've got a bug. That's not a body fat issue. And I think it's important. The worst thing is it makes you look really awful because it makes you look like you're pregnant because all this bit's out here, but only that much is body fat. So you don't need to go on a diet per se. You need to go on a food strategy that brings down your digestive bloating, or you need to clean up the digestive system, or you need to retrain the muscles to pull it back in. But it's a real big common mistake, and because it goes hand in hand with eating badly, you think it's because you're overweight, but a lot of people are much more bloated than they think around the midsection than they are in body fat terms, and there are different strategies you can do to look at it. But I think it's important to know what you're doing, because if you're still worrying about your body fat, yeah, it's not your body fat, or it goes the other way. You can be quite a lean person but look overweight. This is another area to work at, because none of the normal stuff, the exercise and whatever, won't work. You've got to look at specifically targeted stomach things. So it's a simple test to do. Stand up, push your stomach out as far as you can, and then have a look. Here's my line. I'm pushing it out. Only comes to here. Oh, this much body fat. You don't need to do anything. Comes to here. This much body fat. It's a bloating issue. If it comes to here, but there's this much body fat, it's a body fat issue. You can get a bit more information about where you need to do and what you need to do. Along those lines, 10 days ago, a couple of weeks ago, I sent out a real good health test. It's still on my website. So again, how do we evaluate if we're healthy or not? well, for most people, I'm not in hospital, I'm not ill today, I must be doing good. Well, as you can imagine, that's not the most accurate of tests, because what happens if tomorrow you are in hospital, you are ill, your magic health status has been lost overnight. Now, the reality of what happens is we have a lot of health traits on our body. So, can we look at them and get an evaluation of how healthy I am right now? And we can. And the test is on my website. You can download it there. So, you literally go through a whole host of health traits. I don't know, 200 or something like that there is. And you just rate them 0 to 10. 0, that doesn't affect me. What are you on about? 10, oh my God, that's bad in my life right now. So it could be dry skin, could be dandruff, could be eyes watering, could be sneezing, could be wheezing, insert joint pain, stiffness, mental concentration. And we rate them. And at the end of it, you get a score. And then from that, it's just a general score of your health today. And then you can check back in every 3, 6, 12 months, whatever it might be. And then you can see what effect your lifestyle is having on your health traits. And the idea is the score should get better, as in the score should come down, because your health traits are improving. It's a really good insight to see what's what, because the problem we have is if you're not ill, you think you're fine. There's a big gap between I'm ill, superb optimal health. There's this big grey gap. And doctors can't pick up, and what happens when these things start going slightly wrong, doctors can't pick it up because they can only pick it up when you get in the something's gone wrong stage. It's called the subclinical stage. So I think it's good to have this awareness, because if you got it, you can then go, oh, maybe I should stop pissing around being an idiot and actually get my thing into place a bit more. The other method to do that is to take subclinical tests, is what I used to do. I don't do them so much now, where you can look at hormone patterns, you can take gut tests, you can take saliva tests to look at what's going on in the body. You can take stool tests, you can take food sensitivity tests. It gives you an idea of what the body's at. It's good to get that evaluation, because it gives you a bit of oomph, and it gives you a bit of reward for actually doing stuff that puts it in place. So that's another thing we was talking about. Now, weighing yourself every day, I had a question about this. Man, I got a client that annoys me. Nice bloke, he's a doctor, and he's obsessed with weighing himself every day. The problem is, weight is just, it's not a short-term measure. Can you weigh yourself once a week and make a concrete call about that week? Yes and no. Every 3 weeks, yes. If you're not lighter in 3 weeks and day one, we can probably say there's something up. Every 1 week, it's very 50-50. Every day, it's idiotic. So what we want to do is be monitoring body fat. So will clothes go down over a week period? Yes, they will. Clothes can go down over 2 to 3 days. Body fat, will it go down over a week? Yes, it will. But daily measuring, you've got to be careful, because I think it demoralizes people more than it motivates people. So, and the obsession on the weight isn't telling us what. And I've got so many stories I've seen of case studies of people who get great results body fat wise, but nothing spectacular weight wise. Sometimes you can't explain it. I don't know, but it's if you're weighing yourself daily, you're not helping yourself as much as you think you are. You're hindering yourself in general. So there's nothing against it, because obviously some people, as ever in the population, some one in whatever will respond well to it. But in general, and if you're not a linear person, some people are very linear with weight, so that means they do always lose 1 kilogram every week on money. Other people are not very linear at all. If you're not one of those people, that probably means there's effects in water and hydration levels going on. Then I wouldn't be using weight every day. So I've got this one guy who's doing it. We keep debating it, but I'm not going to dwell on it too much, because I care about the results. So if it's weight alongside the other things, then it's going to work. What have we got here? Almost done. So yeah, people always ask me about the best plans, and they always ask me what my plans are. But the question is, I wrote an email about this this week, a couple of things. Last week, if you watched my live, I told you exactly how I got to 4% body fat for those fitness model shows. Again, it's on the website, check it out, or it's on Facebook. But the plan that I follow, could you follow it? This is the thing. It's not about the plan, it's about the person who's following the plan. I did 370 exercise sessions in a year once. Have you the capacity or desire or time or whatever to be able to pull that off? Almost guaranteed you probably haven't. Likewise, some of the dieting methods I've done some crazy stuff nutritionally. I can stick to stuff that other people perhaps couldn't. So it's not really about what I'm doing, but it's about what can you do? It's what we said at the very beginning of this talk. There's basic principles, but what can you stick to? And that's what we're trying to look at. As far as the question of what I'm actually doing, I want to compete back on stage fitness model show this year, but we'll see if I'm big enough. Probably not, because I'm not great. So what I'm doing now is dieting down. Again, if you want to follow this, just go on my Snapchat, any of my daily live feeds, and you'll see them, diets and what I'm doing. As I can go down body fat wise, you'll get leaner, so you get better lines on your body, but you also get smaller because some of your size is actual body fat. And then at a certain stage you can go, I'm quite lean now, how much size have I got? And then you'll make a call. So that's what I'm up to. Couple of questions about the snow. How do you train people outside in the snow? Well, you just have fun, isn't it? It's not really cold for those people because they just come out for an hour. It wasn't that slippy. It was real good fun, to be honest. So I think it's worse it's like a lot of things, and it snow's good fun because it's extreme weather. But you don't get cold exercising outside, you know. It's a bit of a fallacy. If you come out half naked, you will. If you stand around outside at a bus stop, you will. If you're exercising in the snow, if you're exercising outside in the cold, I've very rarely had clients get cold, you know. So I might get cold because I'm not exercising so much, but not in a client sort of sense. Do you see what I'm saying? That's most of the questions. There's one I'm missing. Yeah, so I put up in the newsletters. I put up a good testimony of a lady who's made great results. So I've been training over 6 months to. So she was training for the marathon. That was one of her goals, but the main goal is body change. And she has literally gone from a low rating of herself in a bikini to now like high ratings, 8, 9 out of 10, and finally having the confidence to wear a bikini on a beach, which is a big change and a big progress and a big landmark to reach. So people were asking about what I did, what I do in the sessions, how did the process work, and I think the main thing to understand for this lady is that, and you can read the review on Google, it's on the website. Again, it's on the website? No, it's on Google. Anyway, for this lady, I think the key thing is, I think it's really important to understand the time frame. It took 5 months, just over. That's quite a slow progress, but I think it's a nice progress to really train and come into a nice marathon running pace. And then on the other side of that, to lose a significant amount of body fat, so that you've gone from normal to now looking pretty spectacular in a bikini outfit. It comes from consistency. We use different methods, training the brain, different things. But I think the other thing to understand is it wasn't a 3-week diet, and she wasn't huge when she began. She was normal probably for an average person. Now she's looking spectacular. It takes time. It takes processes for it to happen, and there's nothing wrong with it. In the way it's been done now, very, very likely she'll hold that for the rest of her life, or maybe she'll get pregnant one day or whatever, but they're powerful skills to have. So that was a few questions. I think that's all we got for today. Hold up. It's 12:15. I got to go and train somebody anyway. Right, as ever, if you're not following my newsletters, go on the website, join up. Otherwise, I'll catch you soon.